Hello students. Last lectures we have studied preparations of alkyl halides as well as aryl halides. Today we are going to study here another next point, and that is a stereoisomerism present in alkyl halides. First of all, let us try to understand what is called stereoisomerism. So the definition of the stereoisomerism is two or more compounds with the same structural formula but different spatial arrangement of groups or a group of atoms called as a stereoisomerism. Here the stereoisomerism having two different classes. The first class is a geometrical isomerism and second one is optical isomerism. Now again, the geometrical isomerism we have to define first. What is called as a geometrical isomerism? The geometrical isomerism again two or more than two compounds which are differ by the group or group of atoms attached to the double bonded carbon atom. Across this double bond, those many atoms or group of atoms are attached, and how they are attached, according to that the geometrical isomerism is decided. So first of all, let us try to understand. We will try to understand the geometrical isomerism. This having two isomers, cis but 2ene and trans but 2ene. Why this compound is called as a cis isomer and why this is called as a trans isomer, that we will try to understand. Now let us observe here this second carbon atom and third carbon atom. There is a double bond present between the second and third carbon atom. So let us see here how these similar group of atoms are arranged. Here the CH3 and CH3 are present same side. Hydrogen and this hydrogen is present at same side. So therefore similar atoms or group of atoms are present at a same side across the double bond. Therefore this compound is called as cis isomer of a but 2ene. Now in case of this trans, the similar groups, so for example a CH3 and the hydrogen atoms are present across the double bond in a opposite to each other, not present at a same side. Therefore this isomer is called as trans but 2ene or trans isomer of a but 2ene. Now next one is optical isomerism. In case of this optical isomerism, or which compounds are called as optically isomer, optical active, that let us try to understand. Here to explain this optical isomerism, 2-chlorobutane is taken as an example. Let us try to understand the structure of a 2-chlorobutane. Here the first carbon atom having three similar atoms that are hydrogen. Now the second carbon atom we have a first and second carbon atom. Now second carbon atom have all four atoms or group of atoms are different. How these are different? Let us try to understand. Here is the one atom, another atom, both are different. The third group is there, that is CH3, and fourth group is there, that is a C2H5. So therefore this I will make here a star sign, and this star sign carbon atom, what is the characteristic of this star sign carbon atom? This have all four atoms or a group of atoms are different, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Therefore this carbon atom is called as a chiral carbon atom or asymmetric carbon atom. Now let us try to understand. We will observe this 2-chlorobutane in a mirror. Here is a mirror is there. In a mirror, how this can be seen? So here it is the chlorine atom, hydrogen, CH3 and C2H5 will remain at its original position. The position of chlorine atom is changed in a mirror. So the first isomer, optical isomer, is called as a dextrorotatory isomer. It is represented by D or plus sign. Another isomer where the nucleophile is present at the left hand side of this carbon atom, and therefore it is called as a Leo rotatory compound. This compound is represented by either small l or a negative sign. Now, exactly what is the optical activity, or what are called as optical isomers, that point we have to study. To explain that point, to understand the optical isomerism of the organic compound, we have to understand some terms. So first of all, let us try to understand some of the terms which are required to explain the optical activity of any optical active compound. So the first one is here, a normal light source is taken. Here one slit is taken to choose a single ray. That single ray of the light, how that rays of that light oscillates, that electric and magnetic waves oscillates to the, and all these ordinary light, the rays or these incident rays or oscillates in all planes. Okay, so when, how we can define ordinary light? Ordinary light is a one which rays oscillates in all plane. When this ordinary light is passed through a Nicol prism, what happens? This plane of plane polarized, this will ordinary light will rotate in only one plane. So the incident plane polarized light will be called as a plane polarized light. What is the characteristic of a plane polarized light? The plane polarized light, it oscillates, its rays oscillates in only one plane. Okay, so the definition of a plane polarized light, it is a light which vibrates or oscillates its rays in only one plane, is called as a plane polarized light. Now, this plane polarized light is passed through a polarimeter, or in which a optically active compound is taken. Here, for example, I have taken a 2-chlorobutane solution is taken in this container. When this plane polarized light passes through this organic compound, the rotation of a plane polarized light can be observed, can be rotated. This plane of plane polarized light will be rotated either in through a right angle or through a left angle, or it will be rotated in a clockwise direction or in a anti-clockwise direction. So that according to the property of a rotation of a plane polarized light, these organic compounds again define a dextrorotatory and levorotatory. So dextrorotatory compound is the one which can rotate, or which is able to rotate a plane polarized light through a right angle or in a clockwise direction, called as a dextrorotatory compound. A levorotatory compound is the one which can rotate a plane polarized light in a anti-clockwise direction or through a right angle, is called as a levorotatory compound. So here we have studied a few definitions: ordinary light, plane polarized light, dextrorotatory compound, and levorotatory compounds. Now we have to study here another term, and that is called as enantiomers. What are called as enantiomers? Again, optically active compounds. Here this 2-chlorobutane is optically active because this contains a stars and chiral carbon atom is there. Those organic compounds contains a asymmetric carbon atom or chiral carbon atom are able to rotate a plane polarized light either in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction, are called as a optically active compound. Now here a 2-chlorobutane optically active compound, isomer of a 2-chlorobutane, that is a dextrorotatory compound, is taken and it is observed in a mirror. So how this will be observed in a mirror is shown here. That is a chlorine atom, the position of chlorine atom has been changed. If I compare object and mirror image, so that object and mirror image will not be a superimposable. So that I will say that object and mirror image are non-superimposable. Now, once we come to know what is a non-superimposable object and mirror image, these two, if I take this a mirror image and keep on this, exactly this compound will not be exactly equal to this compound, or this compound will not match with the levorotatory one. So therefore they are called as a enantiomers. So let us try to understand the definition of enantiomers. The enantiomers are optically active compounds. Its object and mirror image are non-superimposable. So therefore they are called as a enantiomers. Now let us try to understand, as far as your board examination concerned, what type of question can be asked in the examination. That let us try to understand. Here 4 marks question can be asked in the examination, that is explain optical activity of a 2-chlorobutane or lactic acid can be asked there. Here we are going to study here optical activity of a 2-chlorobutane for 4 marks, and how the marking system will be there. That let us try to understand. Here the explanation of a optical activity of a 2-chlorobutane, like this question is suppose is asked in the examination, board examination. So how you have to represent in your paper, that let us try to understand. First of all, you will draw the structure of a 2-chlorobutane. You will make a sign, a star sign to the second carbon atom that you have studied. Thus, as you have studied that the first carbon atom containing 1, 2 and 3 similar carbon atom, and this will be the fourth group will be different one, but therefore this first carbon atom is not a chiral carbon atom. The second one, let us try to understand the CH3 group, C2H5 group, hydrogen and chlorine. All these 4 atoms or group of atoms are different. That's why here a second carbon atom, a asterisk sign or star sign is made here. So that a star sign carbon atom is called as a chiral carbon atom or asymmetric carbon atom. So if you draw the structure there, you will get there half mark. The another half mark you have to write down there. You have to show that a second carbon atom is a chiral carbon atom because it has 4 different atoms or group of atoms, such as, what are these atoms or group of atoms that we have to show that? The first one is hydrogen, second chlorine, third one is CH3 and fourth one is a C2H5. If you show this, you will get another half mark there. Now next point you have to explain, and that is a number of isomers. How many number of isomers are possible there? So these number of isomers possible are depend upon a number of chiral carbon atoms present in that organic compound molecule. Here and the formula is A is equal to 2 raised to n, where A is the number of isomers, n is the number of chiral carbon atoms. So here is a 1 chiral carbon atom is there, therefore A is equal to 2 raised to n, and where n is equal to 1. So 2 raised to 1, that is equal to 2. So that the organic compound, or here the 2-chlorobutane, which has only 1 chiral carbon atom or asymmetric carbon atom, therefore it has only 2 isomers. So now this point you will get there another half mark there. Now for another half mark you have to explain that the object and mirror image are non-superimposable. So like this way you will get there 2 marks. Now for third mark you have to explain there enantiomers. How these 2 compounds are called as an enantiomer, that you have to show there. So you will draw the structure of a dextrorotatory 2-chlorobutane, where the chlorine or nucleophile is present at a right hand side, and again its mirror image is here, where the chlorine atom is shown at a left hand side. Here you have to show the diagram of a mirror properly. Now the left hand side structure is called as a dextrorotatory, will be represented by D or small plus sign, and levorotatory compound will be represented by L or a negative sign. You will write here a mirror image, here is a object. Now if I take this lift up this levorotatory compound, and if I keep it on this what will happen? Below this hydrogen atom, there will be this hydrogen atom. Below this hydrogen, there will be this hydrogen atom. Below this hydrogen, there will be this hydrogen atom. And below this C2H5, there will be C2H5. But below this chlorine atom, there will be hydrogen. And below this hydrogen atom, there will be a carbon atom. Chlorine atom. So therefore, object and mirror image are non-superimposable. So therefore, such a optically active compounds which having object and mirror image are non-superimposable are called as enantiomers or optical antipodes. For this diagram, you will get there another 1 mark there. Now, for 4th mark, you have to explain a racemic mixture definition. So, what is called racemic mixture? First of all, that we will try to understand here. So, when equimolar, let us try to understand. If I take a equimolecular or 1 molar dextrorotatory 2-chlorobutane isomer and 1 molar again equal amount of 1 molar levorotatory compound. If I take 10 ml of a dextrorotatory having a molarity 1 mole and 10 ml of a 1 molar levorotatory 2-chlorobutane, and if I mix together, the resulting mixture will be optically inactive. Why it will be optically inactive? Because these dextrorotatory compounds will try to rotate a plane polarized light in a clockwise direction through a right angle. At the same time, those many levorotatory molecules are present in the mixture will again rotate a plane polarized light in an equal angle in an anti-clockwise direction. So the resulting mixture will be optically inactive. Okay, so that is called as an external compensation. Now let us try to understand the definition of racemic mixture. When equimolar quantities of a dextrorotatory 2-chlorobutane and a levorotatory 2-chlorobutane are mixed together, the resulting mixture is optically inactive due to external compensation. And why there is external compensation? Just now we have studied. Due to equal and opposite rotation of each other, okay, called as a racemic mixture. If you write there a correct definition of racemic mixture, you will get there another mark. Like this way, you will get a 4 marks question you have to explain, and all these points you have to cover in the board examination.